Okay, now here is where we're submitting an assignment, and you need to click all the way through. And I'm going to actually go between two different pages here. I'm going to do one that's in a part-time class that we teach in English 12A, which is exactly the same material, just students who are attending us and another school at the same time. So you'll see PT, that means part-time. And then I'm going to go into full-time English 12 class. And this is going to be all on 12A.3, the Remind verification. So we're going into the assignment here. And notice in this version versus that version, it looks a little different. This has a feedback area, and we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so submission status, no attempt. Grading status, not graded, of course. Notice submitted for grading and graded. So I want you to always go back in and take a look, or you can go into, if you go into this course up here, and we're going to actually open that link. And so I'm going to go to, you can always go in and look at grade. And so you're always going to have feedback in your user report. That's what they call this. Okay, this is going to be the feedback. It's also going to show your grade. And in this case, it shows a range, 0 to 5 points. So 100% got an A in that. Oh, must have 5 points. Okay. Notice history of the English language. This was a mastery test. I took it. We'll talk about that later. Just one is all that's worth. And if you look down at the bottom, your course total, you've earned 11 points already, 100%. But wait a second, I got an F here, Mr. L. What does that mean? Well, I punched through a mastery test, a pre-test, excuse me, and got 50% on it. Took a previous test, I had 100%. And all total, I have a total of 56 out of 106 points. That's 53%. But notice, pre-tests, these items here, I don't expect you to know all the information the first time. So if you don't do well, like this score here, it's not going to hurt you because your course total hasn't changed. It's still 100%. These items do not count against your grades that are in the folder pre-test. Okay? So that's important. So this is a way you can always see some feedback. Another way, we'll show that back after we do our submission. So we're going to add a submission. And in this case, complete the assignment. You must type in this submission text box the following message to your instructor. Well, we can do this very simple. Okay? Copy. Paste. And when I signed up in Remind, I signed up as English Fake, in this case for English Fake student, and I'm going to save changes. Okay, because if I cancel, that's not saved. So I'm going to save changes. And this is where students sometimes decide, well, I'm done with the assignment, I can move on. And they come up here to course introduction, and they go back. And when they do that, oh, Mr. L, it doesn't have an X marked on it. Okay, so here I'm going to go back into it. Notice it says draft. Always check your submission statuses, okay? Because it's going to have feedback. That means I've graded. If you don't see feedback, I haven't graded it on one of these assignments. Notice it's got a little piece of paper and it looks like a folder there. These are puzzle pieces. Puzzle pieces will be self-graded items. Item like this, I grade. Item like this, I grade. Puzzle pieces, I don't. Okay, so you see what I actually grade and what I don't. A lot of stuff I grade towards the end of the class. Okay, so going back to the assignment. So, if we wanted to edit the submission, we can do that. Well, I really don't like that. I'm going to change the name, or I don't want it in italics, Mr. L. I'm just going to take the italics off. Okay. So we save our changes. Okay, we're going to submit the assignment. Now some people think, oh, I'll just push that and it's submitted. But that's not it. Or they'll hit continue here. This assignment is my own work, except where I have acknowledged the use of the works of other people. What this means, we have some writing assignments, and you may use information that someone else has already published. You need to cite that material, and I have a wealth of information on how to cite material, and we can work one-on-one on that. Because if you don't give those people credit, you're plagiarizing, you're stealing their work. So what you want to make certain to do is click on the box. Notice these are required fields. Asterisk there. Are you sure you want to submit your work for grading? You will not be able to make any more changes in this case. Click continue. Notice it now says submitted for grading. Not graded, but it's submitted. Okay? Once you see this, you can leave this and go back in here, and you're going to have the submission done. Okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and grade it and show you the difference here in 1 second. Okay, I've gone ahead now and graded it so I can show you what it would look like when you go back in. Okay? It's going to look like other items that we have done. Notice submitted for grading, graded. In this case, it was an online test. Sometimes you'll have to submit a file. And remember, there's a particular way I want you to submit files. Remember the number, the title of the assignment, and your name. Okay. And if there's any comments, if I make any comments, they would be listed here. Okay. Or if you have a comment, Mr. Al, please excuse my use of all the caps on here. My keyboard's acting up. Okay, send a little note. Anyways, here I have graded it, and if I had added any feedback comments, they would be located here. In this case, who has graded the assignment. Sometimes, for example, I'm out for an extended amount of days, and this has happened in the past where I had surgery a year ago. I did have another teacher do some grading, so just make you aware of that. And so you're going to see who actually grades it, whatever types of feedback comments. Now, if this wasn't done properly and say you received a 0, I would have a note on it. Sorry, you did not follow instructions. I cannot give you a grade, but if you would resubmit this assignment to me, I will regrade it. I'm pretty fair in that area. I will allow resubmission. Okay? Now, if you've taken a test and you bomb the test, that's on a test-by-test, student-by-student basis. Because some tests we do not make up. Okay? You want to give your best effort. Let's say on a paper that you really were off the mark, and I make some notes on that. Check out the feedback. Okay? It's there to help you be a better student. So that's what it would look like if we go through the process. And remember, you can come into course feedback anytime that you like. You're in the class. Okay? So once it's check marked, you can always go back in. You can go back in and just, how did I set that up? Oh. Or I want to go back into welcome to our class. What's Mr. L's availability? I know right now. For some reason this is not working right. We're going to try to get that fixed here. But when Mr. L's here in the building, it will be marked right. You can always go backwards in the class to gather information. It just doesn't allow you to go forward. You can't go from remind verification and say, oh, I want to do this pretest. Yeah. Items on here that are only available. Yeah. Okay. we're going to take a look at tutorials. In this case, this is a pretest on how we submit. So we're just going to go ahead and just click any old item there and click next. And it says you've completed this assessment. Click OK to continue. You may get this message. Okay. Never click this box up here in the assignment because it won't send it in. And sometimes down here in the corner, for example, in tutorials, and we'll talk about that in a second, you might have an exit box there. So here it shows as locked. So it is locked. It's no longer in progress. So what we have here is that the test has been completed. It's locked. It's stored. Okay, you're not going to get a complete right away. We're going to go back in here, back into the assignment. Notice that it is, in this case, we have it already completed. We can move on. If we were to go back into this assignment, and what we have here, notice it is locked. So we cannot do that. Okay. Next, we'll take a look here, and we're going to go right into the tutorial. And a lot of times, people will be in the tutorial, and you got to do the tutorial before you do the mastering test. Okay. Go into the tutorial and think, oh, we're done here. And I'm just going to punch ahead here. You don't want to do this. You want to listen to the introductions because they're going to give you valuable information. A lot of times, some of the questions that you're going to get in the mastering test, they're giving you the answers to these. So just for sake, I'm going through. Okay. And you notice right down here it says save and exit. If you are not complete or have not completed the material, you want to click save and exit. And that is important. Okay. This blue bar here is there now. So click save and exit. This way, save. It's going to save it and it's going to exit. It's going to show that you're in progress. And now you can go back in, and it's going to give you right back where you started at. Okay, here's an example as I'm working in this. I am an English fake student. And in this quiz, for example, it says submit all and finish. So we're going to hit submit all. If you hit return attempt, you go right back into the test. Sometimes there will be time limits, and that will be there on your left side showing that. So we hit submit all and finish. Okay. And anytime there is an assignment to submit, you must hit multiple times to complete it. Okay. So you're going to have to hit submit all and finish. In this case. So I'm going to hit submit all and finish. It's going to give me a review of what I've done. So here I've taken the test and I've gone ahead and I'm going to finish the review. I can click it there. I can click it here. I can look at it one page at a time. So it's up to you which way you look at it. Here's finish review, okay, and here's where I'm at. I can do it twice. I don't want to reattempt it. I have no other choices on this page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the course introduction because I still have one attempt if I need to do it. You will also notice then at that time that this has check mark off. Okay? So that's one example of submission. Okay, you've come to the end of a tutorial, and what you'll notice is you have the save and exit once again here at the bottom. You need to click that save and exit, not up here. Do not click up here where it says 12.1, the Anglo-Saxon period. You want to click save and exit when you're done. Okay, this will give you the information into the system showing that you have completed it. You'll notice it'll go back and then it will go into the mastery test. And notice that your progress bar goes complete. Now you can come into the mastery test. And then you can go ahead and click the mastery test. Now what I have on your screen is at the end of the mastery test. So I've just gone through and clicked a couple different answers. It shows that I've, 5 total questions. I've spent about 8 minutes on the test, and I've answered all 5 questions. Now, if you want to spend some time, you want to do the reading, you don't want to just fly through the material. Okay? So when I hit grade assessment, it tells me I have 4 correct, 1 incorrect, and we've reached our goal of 4 correct answers. Keep up the good work. Click OK. This is what sends it to be completed and marked. Notice the star here under the progress. It shows as mastery. Now, if you don't get the star, don't worry. If you'd like to take the test, go back into the tutorial. Notice it's no longer blue. You have to go through the entire tutorial to go back into the mastery test. But you do not have to take the mastery test more than once. That's only up to you, because mastery tests are only worth 1 point, and the class is worth 1,000 total points. That's how many points are available in the class. So if you miss 1 point, that's like saying, if I got everything else right, I got a 99.9 in the class, because you've got 999 points. So if you don't get a mastery test, don't worry. Use the mastery test to understand information and know what to be on the lookout for when you do either an end of unit test, which some classes will have, or the final, which every class that I teach will have a final. And those questions come from those mastery tests. So as a way to prepare for a final, you can always go back into all the mastery tests, fly through the tutorials, and check everything out. So there you go, a little bit about submitting. And on this case, there's no button on this page. Just go back up into the folder work area that we're at. Right now we're in the Anglo-Saxon Medieval Period unit. We click on that, you'll notice then we have a check mark in the box, and we're ready to go on to an introduction to Beowulf. Okay, and in this case, this is, you notice you got puzzle pieces. These are where we have tutorials and mastery. This here is a page that has additional information that's going to help you understand a little bit about the next item that you're going to do. In this case, an introduction to Beowulf. That will help you when you go to the home. Some ideas for you to think about and look at. And as I look at our classes, I always want you to find a way to work smarter, not harder. And this video touches on that point. We'll talk to you soon. Hope you're having a great day. Bye now.